Fall is such a great time for planting, and I would love to get a whole bunch of these clearance evergreens planted today. We're going to see how much time I have to do that though, because I have to prep the area, of course, for all the digging and planting that has to go on. Hi you guys, this is Nicole from My Carolina Garden. My garden is located in southeastern North Carolina in growing zone 8B. The plan for most of these evergreens was really to go in the Island of Misfit Toys, which is outside of my fence line, an area I've been developing largely from garden sharing, clearance plants, and divisions of my own perennials. So that journey is continuing today. So I have to move some things around to make new space for my new awesome plants. And to me, that's what fall is all about. The temperatures are still going like this. We are very much in a roller coaster. Some days are hot, some days are cooler, but right now the temperature's pretty decent to work with. So let's get going in the Island of Misfit Toys. I want to be really smart about the way that I'm planting out here because I have sloped land. I want tall plants to be to the back, lower plants to be to the front. And what's happening now is I have some things that are growing in together. Like I have this golden sword yucca over here. These were two pups that I divided up from a different plant. And the one in the back is smaller than the one in the front. So that's already a problem. And it's growing into the nandina that's next to it. So I want to move that one out just for starters. Another thing is this blue rock that I have, the paint has really faded out on it. It needs a new paint job. What is going to happen though, I'm going to take this guy, put it over into this space here, because this space is already ready, developed, and everything for me. And then I can start with new plants going down the hill even further. So that's our starting place. My rock is refreshed, the mulch under it is refreshed. I got the little golden sword yucca out of there, and now I am going to go by my pool's waterfall where I have a whole lot of the lemon coral sedum growing in there. I need to put some of the pops of the big freshness from that area here because these are way too scraggly. And I think the yellow pops right next to the blue rock are going to be awesome right here. Inside the pool's waterfall, you can see the gorgeous reddish, pinkish mandevilla that's growing inside there. But you can't see the lemon coral sedum that's growing beside it. It originally started in there as like a little scraggly piece of a bonus plant, a piece of lemon coral sedum that I never intended to have or own, but it came inside the pot of another plant I bought and I just stuck it in there. And since then, it's been growing and growing and growing, and I keep dividing it and putting it into different areas of my yard. So today is going to be no exception. I can't see the lemon coral sedum anyway, so it's not doing any good in the waterfall. So let's go grab it out and plant it into the Garden of Misfit Toys. here is what I've done. I cleared the sod to the line that was in front of the blue rock. So this way I can finish my flower bed edging so it's fully straight. Flipped over all the sod. I'm gonna let it sit here and dry for a while so then I can shake out the dirt. And in the meanwhile, oh wait, but the reason I did this is to put the blue Pacific junipers up here somewhere. I have 2 of these. These guys are gonna get really wide, which is great. I need ground cover here. That's the purpose of doing all of this stuff. And so 2 junipers are gonna go in this area after I get the sod removed. But while this sod is drying out, I have another area where I have 3 of my clearance evergreens, and that's where they're gonna go. So my next planting project is closer to my gate opening over here. I am going to plant this awesome holly that I just got with the iridescent leaves. So this is an oak leaf holly. It is going to get to be about 8 feet wide. So it turns out that the space I have over here is about 8 feet wide left. So I decided this was the best spot for it because eventually it will take up all of that space. Plus it will get 14 feet tall, which I think is perfect. If the fence is 6 feet tall, I love the extra height that I would get going, obviously for the privacy and maybe even a little bit of shade depending on time of day and things like that. The oak leaf holly will go to the background. Then I have 2 of these Anna's Magic balls, and I forget how wide I said they got, wider than I expected them to get. 3 to 4 feet wide and 2 to 3 feet tall. So I think these 2 are gonna go perfectly in front of the holly because even if they get 3 to 4 feet tall, 2 of them will take up the same width as the one holly. So that is going to be this whole area, which means a little bit more sod clearing. At least some of it was already taken care of before. So I'm going to start doing that now. So my husband comes outside to visit me in the yard as I'm working, and guess what? He's like, I love those junipers so much. We got to go back to the place where you got them on clearance and see if they have 6 more so we can kind of keep doing what we're doing. So we went to the garden center. Luckily, they still had more. Plus, we got some grasses as well. Again, just trying to fill up that slope so that the erosion is not just messing everything up. So we're trying to plant some stuff that's low growing and is going to stabilize that erosion. So here we go. 6 more of these and 4 of these grasses. It breaks apart, but it's like super, yeah.
Like I can scrape with my fingernail, pull it apart. I wonder if maybe.
So what we were just talking about is we say when we dig in the ground here, we never hit rock because there's no rock here in coastal North Carolina where I am. I don't know if there is somewhere else. And so we have our sandy soil and usually it's just very easy to dig. But I've run into this before where the shovel's hitting something that sounds like it's rock, but then it actually can break apart. So it's almost like sandstone or something. So we're not quite sure what it is, but we're trying to get the juniper in a line. We'll see what happens. did I get a lot done today? I should say we got a lot done today. So my clearance evergreens. So we got these three blue Pacific junipers here, 3 more down there. Those are in the ground. We got the 2 Anna's Magic Balls in the ground and the oak leaf holly. All of those things are planted. I'm trying to remember in terms of evergreens what else I did. I had gotten this crocosmia, which is something I got from my sister's garden. I talked about it last time I was doing the Island of Misfit Toys, and I didn't actually know the name of the plant, and someone else told me, thank you, because it's correct, and I got that in the ground here. Other things have moved and changed in order to make sense of the space that we have. So what's going to happen is these junipers don't love to have wet feet. So I couldn't really get their root ball any closer to the drainage swale than I do. Right here, they still have good draining soil because we are on a slope and the water wants to go that way. So that, I hope, is going to keep these guys doing good, and they'll do their spreading thing to take up some of, like I said, the erosion problem that we have over here in this area. And then behind me, I moved that rock. I got new lemon coral sedum spread out all over here. So yeah, it looks different than what I have there. I think it'll come together and blend out. If not, hopefully this guy like takes over. And then let's just look in that direction for the end. I know the Island of Misfit Toys is not a showpiece right now, but it is really coming together. Things are starting to make sense. Where things are laid out are starting to make sense, and I'm filling in the space. Now, a lot of the things I have to say are ground covers. That's the idea. I have creeping moss phlox in here. I have obviously the juniper in here and the lemon coral sedum. These are 3 of the items that I am hoping just begin to take over. So we don't have to worry about mulch. First of all, who wants to keep paying for mulch every single year? But secondly, we don't want it to keep washing down into the ditch when we have a storm either. Now, hopefully you caught my front yard garden tour where I talked about the cosmos rooting themselves over here and now flowering for the first time ever. Never had any flowers on them the whole summer long. So yes, it is, I said this was my discard, my waste pile over here, and I wasn't sure if the flowers were coming up on something that I had cut or if it had re-rooted into the ground. No, they re-rooted. So I now have cosmos growing kind of in my ditch. So anyway, here are the other 3 junipers. This is the golden sword yucca that I moved at the start of everything. The golden sword yucca, I mean, if it turns out that the junipers start to really open up and go crazy, this is something that I can move again quite easily. I have them all over the place. And then the grasses we just put down at the end, 4 of them. They are muscari, liriope, or liriope, however you like to say it. And they have a yellowish color, so they're always gonna like have a little bit of extra interest on top of the dark colored mulch that we have. We'll see how they do being a little bit closer to the drainage swale. I can't find anything that is going to love sun and stay evergreen and wanna have wet feet right now. Creeping Jenny is a possibility. I have that. That's something that we're talking about, to see about Creeping Jenny and other things as well. So look, doing the best I can with what I got, right? Anyway, the garden transformation, especially in fall, is super fun to do. And I'm glad that you came with me to watch all the evergreen on clearance, all the items that I got into the ground today. Whew! And the Island of Misfit Toys is coming together even more. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you for your comments. Please subscribe if you haven't already, just to ensure that my videos continue to come your way. And until next time, happy planting.